Good morning. Hello and greetings from my kitchen table for today's Sunday Shamanigans. I'm Anna Clint, spiritual counselor and intuitive guide, energy medicine provider to those on their journeys of awakening from the dark night into the next chapter that awaits. And here we're going to talk about that at a personal and collective level. And I want to say that I can talk on and on and on, and I really try not to because I understand that the algorithms have trained our attention spans to basically not last more than a minute. And so my invitation to you is to reclaim your attention span from the algorithm. And my invitation to myself is to be more concise and to produce slightly shorter videos. But see if you can hang in there because your attention span belongs to you and you alone. Okay, so what is this phrase, all's fair in love and war? I had to look it up. And of course, it goes back about 500 years to a time when we can say that humanity was perhaps a little bit less evolved. And the gist of the saying is that anything goes in order to achieve your ends, in order to win, essentially. And it sees war, of course, as winners versus losers, but it also sees love as conquest. And I do believe that we have definitely evolved our consciousness over the last 500 years so that love is not about conquest, although, of course, it can be for some people. But the kind of love that I'm talking about from my kitchen table, from one human to another human, unscripted, without AI, this kind of love is divine love. It is unconditional love to the best of our ability. Of course, we're human and we don't really get the unconditional part very well. But what does it mean to learn through the path of love? Love, divine love, can be a path of healing, a path of learning, a path of awakening. And it is not all about roses and feeling good. When here we are in America, we've just gone back to war, and we have done so in the name of freedom for people who were truly suffering under the hands of their leadership in Iran. And now we're going to duck out and hope that those same people don't get murdered as they stand up to reclaim their sovereignty. And it's really troubling, especially since we did so with our quote unquote ally who would love nothing more than to see that nation wiped off the face of the earth. It's very troubling. How do we see this as love? Where is the love in this? And this is the spiritual path. This is what I'm talking about from my kitchen table, is how do you and me and all of us collectively and individually use love as a spiritual path, use love to learn and heal and grow from? How do we see hardship in the world, atrocity in the world as love? How do we see betrayal as love? How do we see these power structures that literally feed on human blood and torture as love? How do we do that? It's a deep spiritual practice that will break you wide open. And it's really easy. The next logical thing is to say, well, how come that's not spiritual bypass, Anna? How come you can see everything as love and not look at the atrocity? And I'm not saying that you don't look at the atrocity. You have to look at it and see through it and see somehow, some way that there is love underneath and through everything. What is spiritual bypass? That's the idea of using spiritual principles to avoid looking at your shadow, to avoid looking at your shortcomings, to avoid looking at your pain, your heartache, your loss. It's the idea that says, I've been betrayed, I've been hurt, I've been traumatized, but it's all in the name of a higher good. And then without actually dealing with the substance of that hurt and the betrayal or that trauma, and just saying, I can get over this because it's all working out for some good reason. I'm sure in the end, it's that, there'll be a good reason for this. When in reality, it's really impossible to move forward, to heal and grow without being with that shadow. So to see everything as love could be a spiritual bypass if you're not willing to also be with the both and of the love and the pain, the love and the dissonance. There's this massive global awakening happening as we are all collectively coming to terms with things that I think our bodies have known, our psyches have known in the deepest ways, but that we've been conditioned to not believe, which is that power corrupts and that it's fed off of blood sacrifice and it will do anything to maintain. Like the powerful will do anything to maintain and consolidate power. And that consolidation is a siphoning from the bottom to the top. And here we are, just regular people living our lives, going to work, trying to raise families, trying to do good in the world. And yet we're being extracted, like the love force, the life force of us is being extracted into these power structures. This is horrendous. It's horrible. And we have to look at it and we have to be with it. How do we find the love in that? How do we keep moving through the world as love? How do we choose to see love and divinity in each other and even in those power structures and those people involved in them? How do we find the divine in all of that? This is what we're tasked with in this time. This is the dark night of the soul, and we are descending into it collectively deeper and deeper right now. And we have to do the both and. We have to see the destruction and the extraction and the depravity as we hold a vision for love that is of love. We have to be able to feel the ground welling up of love that is underneath everything. We have to be able to hold that. It's not an easy thing to do. It's what we're here to learn. It's what we're here to bring forward. And some of us are just uniquely equipped to do that. And if that's you, I'm calling on you to hold the love while you can hold the depravity, the pain, the extraction, the blood. And so if you need support with this, there's lots of ways to do that. If you want to work with me, you can just reach out. I'm also offering this 4-session series of Love No Matter What, which is based on sacred community, creativity, allowing your unconscious to speak through you, and activating the wisdom of your heart so that you can be the leader of your life, the sovereign leader of you and your life and those around you in these times. So reach out if you want more information on that. And may you walk in love today. May you be a vessel for love, for divine love. May you be able to see the both and. And may you nourish yourself tenderly so that you have the capacity to do that. That nourishment, that tender holding of your own self through these times is what I am also uniquely capable of helping you with and supporting you with. And that's what we're going to do in those 4 sessions. we're going to be doing some deep, tender witnessing and holding and nourishing of the nervous system. Anyway, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for listening. And I did go on and on. I tried to be short.